We've already reported this morning, our top story, we've got this weather warning that's in place, these emergencies, flood emergencies, wild winds in the southeast. So what's the latest information that you've got?
Yeah, well, it's been very intense through the middle of the night, particularly for Victorians, as that's when we saw the worst of the winds. Faulkner Beacon, 141 kilometres per hour. So that's on Port Phillip Bay. St Kilda, for instance, gusted to 113 kilometres an hour. Multiple suburbs of Melbourne and across southern and central Victoria, gusting to above 100 kilometres an hour, including out to Mount Gambier and down to Launceston. So very windy weather through the night. Still the threat of further damaging winds right across these yellow shaded regions. For Melbourne though, the worst of the winds are probably gone, but there's still the risk that isolated pockets could still gust to 110 kilometres per hour there. But for New South Wales and the ACT, definitely the worst is still on its way as we've got this cold front moving across the southeast of the country, and the strongest winds are near that front as it is now crossing the border into New South Wales, dragging the windy weather and the colder weather with it. So across the southeast, you can see showers still streaming in, plenty more windy weather as well. Snow down to 400 metres in Tasmania today, down to 800 metres in Victoria and 1,000 metres in New South Wales. So it's a proper winter-like front moving through at the start of spring. And for Sydneysiders, for example, 25 is the forecast for today, but it's going to feel like 10 out in the wind by 5 p.m, courtesy of that change moving through. Now, out on the water, with all this wind, the waves have become enormous. We've seen many waves exceeding 10 metres off the coast of Victoria. There's further damaging surf today and abnormally high tides peaking this afternoon and this evening, and that's likely to lead to coastal inundation. So some places could see their highest water levels on record today. So very dangerous conditions there for any low-lying communities. Meanwhile, the low-lying communities on the Derwent are at risk courtesy of this water streaming over the dam and down into the river system. We've got major flood warning. It's likely to peak this afternoon for the Derwent. And aside from that, there are another 5 other rivers with moderate flood warnings courtesy of the 200 plus millimetres of rain for much of the west of the state in the last week. So across the country today, sunny skies for the west, the east, the centre and the north. Hot in Brisbane 33, windy in Sydney with extreme fire danger today for the Illawarra. That's the first of the season. So any fires today for Sydney and Wollongong are going to be dangerous in the region. So that's something of concern. But we will see conditions calming down tomorrow as the colder air finally pushes into southeastern parts of Queensland. Pete?
Good on you, Rob. Thank you.